Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Airbnb, investment properties, diversifying your income and revenue streams. That's something we're going to talk about today, as I own several Airbnb investment rental properties, and it's something I do on the side aside from filmmaking. And a lot of you guys have been asking me questions about that, and I put it on my Instagram story the other day. If you guys wanted to see a video of me talking about how I find my investment properties and how I run and manage them through Airbnb. And so yeah, I'm gonna make that video today because 98% of you responded yes, so let's get into it. So first off, when you're looking for an investment property, first off, before you're even gonna Airbnb it, you wanna look for a property that's in a highly traveled, I don't even know that's a word, traveled area where you're getting a lot of people coming into town. You don't want to pick a property that's just like in the middle of nowhere. For example, my properties are all in Tempe, Arizona, which is college town, or ASU is, and there's so many different, it's a big city and there's so many different events always happening here. So there's lots of people coming in for things related to school and ASU and bowl games and golf tournaments, and there's so many things happening. So I picked the two properties I have currently are both right around ASU's campus, which is central to everything. Spring training, baseball games, the airport, the football stadiums, etc. So first and foremost, you want to look in a location that is highly traveled to. So after that, now when you're looking for a location in that area, you want to find a place that I would recommend at least 4+ bedrooms. Usually Airbnbs, you're getting people, or at least the most profitable ones, but also just the most successful ones in general. People travel in large groups and they're looking for an Airbnb to stay. If they're just a couple people, 1, 2, 3 people, you might get a hotel. And that's the whole point, is Airbnbs are entire homes for large groups of people to come travel and save money and have a whole house to themselves where they can hang out rather than splitting up all these different hotel rooms. So you're gonna wanna look for a house that has 4+ bedrooms. I have 2 houses. One of them has 4 bedrooms and the other has 3 bedrooms. And the one with 4 bedrooms does double the amount of money that the 3-bedroom one does. But the reason I did choose the 3-bedroom one is it was a perfect opportunity to invest in, not just for Airbnb, but to kind of flip. So we took that house and I actually, with my mom, we remodeled it, redecorated it, knocked out some walls, and went to basically flip the house. But now we rent it out on Airbnb and we make money off of it, and it's in a great area so that, as time progresses, the house is progressively getting worth more and more money, and then we'll eventually sell it and we'll make a lot of money selling it. That's what these things are. They're investment properties, but in the meantime, we rent them out via Airbnb. So after the 4 bedrooms, you're gonna also want to highly kind of stylize the place. When I know me personally, when I'm looking for an Airbnb and I'm going to stay places, I'm looking for unique properties. I'm looking for a property that has cool style, has maybe a pool table, something extra unique. It's stylish. It's not just a plain Jane house. You want something that has some flavor, that you can go and relax in, have fun in, that has a unique experience about it. So both my properties, the decorations are very unique. One of them, my smaller 3-bedroom house, is much more like retro vibes in the kitchen, and has kind of some older school feel to it, with an old school stove from like the 80s and a bunch of things like that. But then each room we decorated with a unique purpose. One of them's a travel room, one's like a sleek room, one's a film room. And so you wanna, if you're doing a rental property, you wanna create a unique space to where when people are clicking through on Airbnb, they're like, oh, I wanna stay there, that place looks cool. Because maybe guys don't care as much, but the wives or girlfriends, when you're looking for an Airbnb, that's the very first thing they notice. It's like, I wanna stay there, that looks cool. My mom has also kind of helped flip a couple properties for a local company that turns houses into Airbnbs, and one of the things they all look for in any of their Airbnb properties is they need a pool, they need 5+ bedrooms, and they need a pool table. Those are like the 3 must-haves for all of their properties. And it kind of goes back to what I said, 4+ bedrooms, something unique that's gonna draw people in, a pool table, something fun, interactive, and then a pool. Gatherings, because big people like to come to gather, and a pool is definitely like a draw, especially in Arizona. You know, maybe not in a different, it depends where you are in the country, but especially in Arizona, a pool is huge. So now moving on from that, once you've decorated the place, really high quality photos. Really sharp, high quality photos that show the space, super wide, super crisp, colorful, really eye-catching photos that, again, when people are scrolling through Airbnb, your place stands out. Wow, that place looks beautiful. Wow, that looks clean. You have some janky, kind of lo-fi photos, you're not gonna be booked as much. You're gonna get booked more when you have high quality looking professional photos, because it also just, it gives a sense out there to the person coming to stay that this place is of high quality. It is nice, it is clean when you have those really crisp, clean photos. So all those little details matter, from the little decorations to the pillows, to the photos, to the little decorations and touches inside of the different rooms. All that stuff really matters to getting bookings constantly. All right, so now let's get into the other side of it, which is more like the management and running it. Early on, I did a lot of the hands-on work with, you know, managing it, kind of cleaning it, but then it gets to be a lot. So depending on your schedule and what you have going on for you, how close you live to the properties, you might want to have someone manage it for you. So early on, I would have either my brother or my mom answer and respond to messages, and with each booking that was booked, I would pay them a certain fee that we had agreed upon. So that way it kind of takes the stress off my shoulders, and they're able to handle it, make a little income, and it's being handled. From there, when it comes to the cleaning, you always list a cleaning fee on the Airbnb, and we have kind of a rotation of like 2 different cleaning groups or ladies. So when I'm available and I can, or I want to, or my mom or whoever, if we're available, we can go clean it and keep that cleaning fee for ourselves. But if we're not, we have 2 different groups of cleaning people on rotation. We just call them, hey, this place needs to be flipped, cleaned, new guests checking in, they go clean it. I don't ever have to go there, touch it, see it, nothing. So the key is to, you know, depending on how much involvement you want with it, to get someone to basically manage it for you, which is them responding to all the messages coming in, and you never have to physically go meet them there. We have a keypad, key lock, where they punch in their code, they get inside the front door, and that's how they access the house, and we never have to show up, meet them, so it can be done all remotely. Technically, if you have someone answering the messages, or you're answering the messages, and you have someone on call cleaning it that you just tell, hey, go clean it this day, needs to be flipped for the next guest, you never have to physically go see the property or be there or take care of it in that way, other than maybe checking up on it every once in a while, making sure everything looks good. So in all reality, you can be running your property on Airbnb, making money, or at least getting the mortgage paid and all the bills paid, and never really have to set foot inside if you don't want to. So that's kind of how I've done things or do things, and I'll get into the numbers a little bit right now just so you can see how beneficial owning an investment property can be financially. So first off, this 3-bedroom house I bought in 2016 or 17, don't remember, but bought it for $205,000 over on Hudson, and now that property is currently a house of the similar size sold on that street for like $350,000, $375,000. So within the 2 years of owning that house, properties in that area are now selling for close to probably $75,000 to $100,000 more than what I had bought my house for, which is good. That's called a comp. When you're looking to buy and sell houses, you want houses in your neighborhood to sell for a higher amount, because it means you can sell your house for a higher amount because of that comp over there selling for that higher amount. So that's good. So already the housing values in that area where I bought that house have skyrocketed, which helps me, basically means the value of my home is much stronger, and I've already made a lot of money just off the home value. Now I got like a little stat sheet from Airbnb here, and basically my mortgage on that house is $1,100 a month, and so $1,100 a month times 12 months plus the different rental property fees, and like comes out around $19,000 a year. So for the mortgage, bills, fees, comes around to $19,000 a year on that property. And this year was honestly a really slow year for this property. The year prior was much more beneficial or significant, but we had 18 reservations, only 18, and the gross earnings on that property were $19,219. So with only having few reservations, everything was taken care of. I never had to come out of pocket to pay my bills, to pay the mortgage. People are paying my mortgage for me. So I'm not having to pull any money out of my own bank account. People are just cycling through and paying the mortgage for me. In the meantime, my home value is rising. So I'm making money off that property without really having to do anything. So for the first house that I bought, the 4-bedroom one I was talking about, I bought that in 2015, so 3 years ago, and I bought that for $304,000. And literally just down the street from that house, the same floor plan as mine, a house just sold for $375,000. So already in 3 years, my property essentially has risen in value about $70,000. So if I wanted to turn around and sell my house now, I could probably get around that, maybe a little bit less, because that other house was a little nicer, not anything overly drastically nicer. So definitely, for sure, the value in that property and house has risen at least $50,000. So at that 4-bedroom house, we had over 42 bookings this year, which totaled out to be a total of $32,829. So that was the gross earnings on that place, a little over $32,000. And again, this was even a slow year. The years prior, I think it's because there's becoming more and more competition within Airbnbs. People are seeing the value in Airbnbs and how much money they could bring in or how valuable it is. So the competition's got a little steeper. There's been a little more properties popping up because the year prior to that we hit 40,000. This year it was only 32,000. But regardless, my mortgage, bills, everything is covered. I have not come out of pocket at all. It has all been paid for by the Airbnb, and I've made a few thousand as well. So everything is being covered, not coming out of pocket, not having to pay those bills, not having to pay that mortgage, because the money from the Airbnb coming in goes straight to all those things. So basically every year that home value is raising, it's going up, and I'm not having to pay anything towards it, and people are paying my mortgage for me. So again, I'm making money as the years progress through the home value rising and me not having to pay anything towards those bills. So this year, like I said, was a little slower for both of them. Pretty much broke even on both of them. I made a couple $1,000s on them, nothing crazy. But again, it's in the home value rising and me never having to pay anything towards it. Nothing's coming out of my bank account. Nothing's coming out of my personal bank account towards those. But the years prior, I think the 2-3 years prior, I made around $10,000 each year on each property. So you can see the value that owning an investment property has, and running it. You can either run it as an Airbnb or you can either rent it out long-term towards someone. But the key is to get people into your property. You're investing in a property so that over time the value increases and that you can turn around and sell it years down the road. But during that whole time, you're never having to make a payment on it. Other people are paying it for you. So you're not losing any money, and you're just progressively stacking, essentially in layman's terms, stacking bread, so that when it's ready to sell that house, you sell it and you take your earnings away from that house, because you've never had to pay on it, and the home value has now increased. So that's kind of in short how I look for the properties I look for, how we dress them up, run them, manage them, and just kind of a little insight into that sort of, side income and investments for what I do. All right, I think I covered everything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If you have any questions that I at all. I know that was a lot of information just kind of thrown at you. Comments below. I will respond to the comments. Any questions, just let me know. I'm here to help you guys. Hopefully this video is insightful. I want to give you guys more information out, real life information and experience outside of just filmmaking stuff. And so hopefully this video helped a lot of you guys, and I appreciate you for watching. If you made it this far, I'm Jakob Owens for the Buff Nerds.